From the 23rd of July on, I knew that we could not survive. However, when I got back to Washington, in my usual methodical way, people think it's methodical, and I guess it is, I decided I should put down the pros and cons of what options I had. And I had a sheet of paper on that which refreshed my memory. Rather interesting when I read it today so many years later. It indicated, 1, I could resign now. 2, I could wait until the House voted impeachment and resign then. Or 3, I could, despite the House voting impeachment, go to trial in the Senate, which would take about 6 months. Now, resigning now was the option I didn't want to do above everything else, personally. I'm a fighter. I just didn't want to quit. Also, I thought it would be an admission of guilt, which of course it was. And also, I felt that it would set a terribly bad precedent for the future. I hope no other president ever resigns under any circumstances. The second option was no option at all, to wait until the House voted impeachment, because what I would do then would be to put all of my good supporters on the spot and make them vote for impeachment, which they didn't want to do. You don't put them through that sort of thing. The third option, go through the Senate with a hearing, a trial, I should say, for 6 months. I knew that that was unacceptable. Unacceptable because from the standpoint of the country couldn't afford to have a crippled, half-time president. Particularly in this time when I recalled that in 1973, when things weren't as bad as they were now, the Soviet Union at that time was very difficult during that 73 war in the Mideast. I just couldn't risk it, I felt. So after making those notes, I, in my own mind, decided, well, there's no choice. And so the next day, on the first day of August, this was a week before I finally made my resignation speech, I got in Haig and Ziegler, and I told them that I felt that there was no choice but to resign. That night, this is the night that I told Haig and Ziegler that the decision had been made, Bibi Rebozo came up from Florida. I went out in the Sequoia with him. I told him, and I've never seen him. He's rather swarthy in complexion anyway with his Spanish background, and he just turns white. He said, you can't do it. You can't do it for the good of the country and so forth. I said, well, you've got to help me with the family. And then, so the next day, I had to tell the family. It was a painful day.